Good evening. Welcome here to yet another edition of Out of Turn 4. I'm Brian here with you tonight, or this afternoon. Coming up on the show, we're going to recap NASCAR at Auto Club, the final weekend at the track, at the 2 Mile Oval as we know it. Then, of course, we'll get you ready for the IndyCar season. Of course, IndyCar kicks off this weekend on the streets of St. Petersburg. And then some more racing news. We don't have much like last week. I am a little more awake, thankfully, so it'll be a lot less dreadful this time. I promise. Okay, I promise you it'll be a lot less dreadful. Just bear with me today, because I'm telling you we'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, last week. By the way, before I begin, I do want to apologize for there not being any Sunday morning Tinkle last week. Jason and I were working a tournament, and I'm not gonna lie, I got home every night. He got home every night. We were both just tired and just needed a week off, honestly. I mean, I worked 6 days last week. Jason's been pulling 6-day weeks as well at his outside job. This isn't our careers, guys. We do this on a part-time basis. So understand that, some weeks are going to work out better than others. But we're here today. We hope to be back on Sunday with another edition of Sunday Morning Tinkle. But until then, let's get going. John Hunter Nemechek, he wins the Sunday night race at Auto Club. Of course, this preceded the NASCAR Cup Series. It is John Hunter's first win this season, his third career win. And he held off Sam Mayer to get the victory. So congratulations to John Hunter. We knew he'd be a threat this year. Frankly, I think he's the guy that could win the Xfinity Series title this year. So excellent start to that campaign, and can't wait to see what he does going forward. All right, so then on to the Cup Series. Kyle Busch. Yes, Kyle Busch, he wins in his second start with Richard Childress Racing. It is his first win of the season, his 61st career victory. And I gotta tell you, if you saw my predictions earlier this year, I had said Kyle Busch will likely be one of the last guys in. And so far, through the Clash, through the 500, and now through Auto Club, he's looking really strong. He might be, and again, I don't want to jump the gun yet, but he looks like the guy who could very well claim this regular season Cup Series title. And again, it's a strong start, but again, I say it cautiously. There's still a long season to go. In years past, I'd roll my eyes just saying Kyle Busch's name. But this is the win I wanted to see him get so bad. I'm telling you, I wanted to see him get this for his sake, for, just for the way everything went down with Joe Gibbs Racing. I wanted to see it so bad. So congratulations, Kyle. First time I can say this genuinely. Congratulations, Kyle. Now you can go back to losing, okay? Now you can go back to being that hated driver. Now if you're racing Ty Gibbs, you got my vote every day. As far as the race weekend goes, of course, it was quite hampered by snow. Yes, snow in Southern California. California. So now you see how we feel here in New York and in the Northeast. Every time we get, some snow in the forecast. Now you see how our winters are. So I don't feel bad. I do, but I don't. But glad we could get the races in on Sunday. Of course, Xfinity was postponed from Saturday to Sunday. But glad we could get those races in. It looked bad for a while. It looked like we were going to be racing on Monday, and they somehow got it in. The final on the 2 mile configuration, which is unfortunate because, the last 2 years, really, Auto Club has put on quite a show. It's like a 3-lane racetrack right now. It's perfect racing. And now we're going to demolish it for a half-mile short track, which it appeared going in and was made clear at the end of last season that no matter what happened here, it was not going to change anybody's minds. And it's just unfortunate, you know. I mean, there's Irwindale out there if they want a short track. There's a lot of other options. They should have left California or Auto Club Speedway alone. Should have left it alone. It's provided, 2013, probably the best race they've ever had. You know, and then the last 2 years with the next gen, it's a next gen track. I mean, it's provided better racing than the short tracks have for the next gen car. So, again, I question NASCAR's logic, but I think everybody does, and frankly, I don't think they care. Again, I don't know the full details, so I won't explain too deeply on that. All right, we are on to the IndyCar Series season. Of course, IndyCar Series begin. The NTT IndyCar Series kicks off the 2023 season on Sunday at noon on NBC. And of course, I've got some big predictions, so I want to read those out. I'll predict the race right after we get through this. But of course, actually, before we do that, let me change this up. So I want to talk about Corey Roper for a second. Corey Roper, of course, for those who don't know, the Truck Series team owner and driver, he has been suspended indefinitely for a substance violation. Unfortunate. I don't think he entered Daytona. He runs a part-time schedule, but just unfortunate for him and his team. And, hopefully he seeks some help. I heard, addictions are tough. And again, I just hope he gets the help he needs so he can get back on the track. I know a lot of fans do like him, so, wish him the best. But now we get on to the IndyCar predictions. I figured that news had to go before this one, so sorry to kind of change it up after I hyped you guys up. Again, IndyCar returns Sunday on NBC and Peacock. So I have some predictions, and I just want to say this. I think Arrow McLaren Racing, of course, keep in mind they have added Alexander Rossi this offseason. They still have Felix Rosenqvist and Pato O'Ward. And frankly, I think Arrow McLaren Racing is going to have a strong season. I think they're going to shock people. I think they'll start out slow. Expanding from 2 cars to 3 cars can be a little bit tough to open up. But I think they'll get it figured out. I think they'll get some good runs in. I think they'll get some wins, I think Rossi's going to do better with this change of scenery. I'd said, sometimes drivers just need that change, and Rossi, I think, was number 1 on that list of a driver who needed a change of scenery. And he needed out at Andretti. It just wasn't working for him the last few years. So we'll see how Arrow McLaren Racing treats him. Roman Grosjean, I think he's going to get a victory this year. And to add on to that, I think Andretti will be one of the top 4 teams once again. I don't think it'll be top 3, but I think they'll be, top 4 with McLaren, with Ganassi, with Penske on that leaderboard. Herta's in his, I think, 3rd or 4th season with Andretti. I think he'll get it put together this time around. I think he'll, be in that fight. I think Herta, Rossi, Newgarden, Pato, and Dixon, I think those 5 will be in the battle for the overall IndyCar championship when we go to Laguna Seca. Now, as far as other drivers, I think Ferrucci will have a little bit of a cold start. I just, again, Ferrucci the last few years has played super sub. He's tried his hand in NASCAR. But I think here returning to the full-time IndyCar schedule. I think it will be a struggle. AJ Foyt's not exactly the premier destination for IndyCar free agents, but I think he'll have a cold start, but I think he'll figure it out. I think by mid-season he'll heat up. I think the Indy 500 will be his true chance to, showcase what AJ Foyt Racing can do. I think he'll have them, frankly, in the top 10. And then I think from there, things will just only get better for AJ Foyt and Santino Ferrucci. So I'm rooting for him. I want to see him do well. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Ferrucci, and I can't wait to see him. Of course, in Mid-Ohio, I will be at that race this year for the first time in a couple years. Here's another big prediction, and it is my last big prediction for the Indy 500, or for the IndyCar season. It's for the IndyCar, or Indy 500. I think we will see, I don't think this is a year we will see us, barely clip 33 entries, with the last car being that field filler. I think this year we will have 33 entries, not just 33. We'll have 35 entries into the Indy 500. I see it happening. We already know that Catherine Legg is going to drive for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan in a fourth car. We already know Tony Kanaan will make his last go in the Indy 500. Takuma Sato will be in the 500 with a fourth Ganassi car. Ed Carpenter will be in a third Ed Carpenter racing car. So we know that brings the entry list to 30. But I know along the way, and actually I believe one was already confirmed. So we already got 31 that I believe we know of. Of course, we forgot the Dreyer and Reinbold car. But we could also add another DNR car. So that'd bring it to 32. I'm telling you, I think we're going to see it this year. I really see the promise there. And I think, there's just no way we don't at this point. I mean, AJ Foyt will probably bring an extra car too. They always do. So, I see it happening. That's my prediction. So we will have bumps at the Indy 500, which is something we haven't seen since the 2019 season. And of course, we saw the excitement that these bumps can bring. Of course, Juncos bumping McLaren out of the Indy 500 that season. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to a good IndyCar season. Looking forward to getting it over with, just so we can see the 2024 schedule that the promoters seem to keep hyping up. So again, going to be a fun season. But with that, let's make our picks for IndyCar at St. Pete. I'm going to pick Alex Palou. He was close last year. Scott McLaughlin did win last year's Indy GP at St. Pete. But I just don't, I could see him being a contender. I just feel, though, that Alex Palou will get it started off right, now that he doesn't have the pressure of being the defending series champion. So, that I see happening. Truck Series, Las Vegas. Of course, NASCAR takes on Las Vegas on their West Coast swing. I'm picking Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, of course, just really good in the Truck Series. I think he'll get his first win in a Chevy for KBM, and he'll get it done pretty handily. Xfinity at Las Vegas, same thing. Kyle Busch, he's going to be pulling triple duty this weekend. I think he'll get the win for Colleague after years of destroying him. This one I could see being closer. Of course, Kyle Busch hasn't been in Xfinity for 2 years, but I don't think he'll miss a step. I think it's going to be like riding a bicycle for him. You just never forget. Cup Series at Las Vegas, though, I think there's one guy who's going to stop Kyle Busch from, I think this one guy is going to stop Kyle Busch from sweeping the weekend, and that guy is Ross Chastain. Of course, the playoff race there, he looked really good. He almost won that race. So I think Ross can get it done here. I think he's proved last year, if he can bring the same kind of thing this year, Ross should be the guy to beat going into Las Vegas. Of course, I'm also going to keep an eye on Bubba Wallace. This race really played into his favor last year before that wreck with Kyle Larson, which, of course, we want to forget about, but not many people let him forget about because he's Bubba Wallace. All right, that's all I got for this edition of Out of Turn 4. Thanks for watching. Tune in to No Final Bell this week. I'll see you on Sunday Morning Tinkle. We will be back this Sunday. Again, just both of us had a lot on our plate last week and just didn't have the time to tape. But otherwise, I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another edition of Out of Turn 4. Until then, goodbye, everyone.